Welcome to another P6 Parts video. Welcome to the P6 Parts P6P1 Project car. Alright, so here at P6 Parts we've decided to do a project car. Unlike the normal videos we normally do, which is more how to, like how to put this on, fix this and so on. This is basically a video documentary of, we're going to make this into a project car, and I hope you follow us as we develop and go along and actually do something a little different. So, what is different? For some time here at P6 Parts, we wanted to do a different car. Like I know a lot of them with their cars, whether it's Triumph or MG, Rover, Jag. Do you modernise it? Do you change it? Do you upgrade it? Which is fine. We have no issue with anybody who do anything like that. We always want to do stuff ourselves, and we've had some unique stuff to do down the pipeline. But for now, we're going to start something simple with this P6P1 project car. So we're going to go a little bit off the cuff to original. And granted, some people will like it, some people won't. Everybody has their own views and opinions, everyone has their own likes, which is absolutely fine. We endorse anybody who puts time and effort into restoring their car, whatever way you want to do it. Some people want to put a bigger engine in it, a complete transmission, some people just want to change the colour, some people just want to upgrade it, some people like to leave it exactly as it should be, or the way it was made. And again, as long as you're putting the effort to put it in, I mean, I've time for that. So this is what we plan on doing. We plan to turn this into a unique version just for us. So whatever's going on to it is something we decide to do, just to alter it. As I said, some people will like it, some people won't. When it gets all done, it will be for sale. And as I said, it'll be a unique little car, and then we'll move on to the next one. Every time we do that, we'll do something different. Now, does that mean we're going to do it all the time? No. We still restore the cars. We still are going to restore the cars and stay that way. I know we have another project to do. I refer to it as a 68 project. It's actually a 69. It's one of the first 500 made, the tr6, number 427 or something like that. So that one will be all original. We'll put that all back to original just because of what it is. This one's a mid-year, and we know there's more 74s on the road than anything else. So if I was ever going to change one, it would be 74. And lo and behold, we got a 74, so it's time to do it. So what do we have in mind? Well, here, let's go look and I'll show you what the plan is. All right. Okay, so I've written down a few things in line of what it's basically going to be. So let's start filling this in. This is the plan we have, and again, everything is subject to change because we may change something as we go along. And as you follow this, and this is going to be available on the P6 Parts Facebook page, and I'm going to throw it on the YouTube channel as well. And by all means, if you have any suggestions, ideas, or likes, or even dislikes, by all means, throw it up, as long as it's not like out of hand or rude or anything like that. I mean, like I said, everyone has their own taste, everyone has their own ideas, everyone has their own opinion. So, how do we come up along with this? It's basically, if you had your car and you wanted to paint it whatever color you wanted, any color at all, what would you actually do? Would you leave it standard, or you want to do something a little bit more modern, exotic? Some colors suit certain cars, and that's where this comes from. So basically, if you pick the color, I can guarantee you change a lot of stuff to go with it to match that color. So that's what we're going to do here. So let's start off. So what year is it? It's 1974. The original color was actually meant to be brown. So it was meant to be a maple brown with a new tan interior. Now, when I heard that, I'm like, I'm not a fan of that color. Some people might. Maybe there's very little of them out there because maybe it was just unpopular, them two matches. Or maybe just, you know what, you just didn't produce any because, again, it was just an option. So it could have been pre-done. I don't know. Anyway, so like the browns themselves, there's not too many browns over there, and people may say, well, put it back to brown. I mean, there's not many out there, keep it brown. Granted, I get what people are saying, but we can't do everything. It will always, hey, put more blues out there. I'm like, personally, there's so many red cars out there. Like, I like seeing the other colours other than red, especially Carmine reds. There's too many of them. Most popular colour must be. So, like I said, we're going to do something different. Now, again, this is not going to be too much off the cuff. But this is our plan to do it. So what color are we going to do? Well, like I said, if you were to do your own color, what would you do? We had a few in mind, and I settled for silver. So that'll be MET, I'm not sure, for metallic. So Because yeah, if you don't do silver, you're doing grey. So we're looking at metallic silver. It should be a dark shade. It's not going to be a really bright like a Mercedes color, and that's going to be a darker shade. We just haven't picked the actual shade yet. We have seen the color, but again, when you're looking at it in the book, it looks different. And again, so we've thought, hey, if we've done this color, what would it end up like? And we've for a long time we were thinking, if we were doing this color, what color interior would do? What would match which color? So like I said, this is where we're going forward with it. The seats. The seats are going to be red, and the panel kit is going to be red. However, this is a 74, but I'm actually going to put the 70 to 72 seats in, and the same with the panel kit. Now you're thinking, why would I do that? Well, it's already going metallic silver, so everything else is out the window at this stage. Personally, and again, it's a personal choice, I'm not fond of the later seats, 73 to 76. I find they don't hug you as much as the earlier ones. The earlier ones are much nicer. There's much more, like you feel more enclosed and it feels a bit more sportier, especially if you're doing the metallic silver. So I think these seats are going to be way better than the actual 74 seats with the headrests, because I'm not fond of them seats whatsoever. In all honesty, I prefer these seats hands down. The panel kit. Why am I putting the early panel kit on? Well, actually, there's two reasons why. One is that most people, when you actually get into the cars and close it, did you ever use the door pulls? To be honest, most likely not. Most likely you put the hand on top of the door and close it. Obviously leaving fingerprints. So most people don't actually use the door pull. And I'm taking it out because I don't think it will suit it. I don't think it will suit us because I just think having more panel or having a smooth line will look a lot better. I can always add it in. Like if you get the early panel, you can always change your mind, take it off and actually put it in, but you can't take it out. So that's why I'm going to go with the early one. I just think it's a smoother one. We'll have the little door pull up the top instead. It's sort of making it go back to look like a 70 to 72. I just think that interior will actually be better than the 74 itself. So again, it's a personal thing that we're doing here at Plan 6 Parts. It's not going to suit everybody, absolutely. But I hope you follow us and say, hey, do you know what? Doing something different, subtle but different. You know what I mean? And even if you dislike it, you have to understand where we're coming from with it. Our likes, no different than what you do with your car. Your car, you do it the way you like it, and that's it. And absolutely, don't let anybody tell you otherwise. So carpet. You think doing red, we're going to go red? No. We're not even going to do black. We're actually going to do grey. Yes, going to do a grey carpet kit. I think that's going to look amazing. I think that colour is going to look amazing because if you think about the A-frame is going to stay black and it's still going to have the black dash top and all that and the crash pads and all. So I think having the grey carpet kit will a bit more contrast to it and allow the dash to stand out a bit more. The soft top is going to stay black as usual. We had thought about it, plus the cover. The cover is going to stay black as well. We had thought about whether to change this a different colour, but looking at it, like I tried looking up the cars and see what other colour will suit. Some people may say, hey, the red top will suit it better with the red interior and the red cover. Maybe. I'm not disagreeing to that. From my eyes, I looked and go, I don't know. I think the black will just look better because the outside of the car is going to have some black. It's going to have like more, maybe a black spoiler at the front. I may do a colour coded. So even if the cover is black, that cover can still be red if it wants to be. I just think when you put it up, I think the red doesn't suit with the silver regarding the top. I just think it doesn't stand out as much. But again, it's a personal opinion with us here. Some people agree, some people disagree. And that's the whole idea of opinion and likes. So far we're going to stay with this. The wheels we don't know yet. So we don't know if we're going to go with the steels or wire. So wire is more a classic look. If you look at it, if you go with a metallic silver, then you're going into the borderlines of like Jags and Austins, like the Aston Martin and all that. But steels are more sportier. But I like the wire wheels, especially if you do it and you can see the calibers. So it's a toss up. Yes, there is the spoked ones. We have the Revolution, the Black Revolution ones and all that. Again, it's going to be hard. Until the car is done, it's sitting there, then we're going to have to almost superimpose the wheel to see where's the best option for that. So we're still on the fence on that. And if you have any ideas or opinions, what may suit, whatever, absolutely, throw it across. Give your ideas and opinions. I said it may help us decide on this. It may not. Like, we stick with the steels, we may stick with this. Again, it's nice to get involved and say, hey, if I was doing this way, what would you do? It's nice to see opinions. Carburetors. Well, we're not fully sure exactly what we're going to do yet, but most likely, I'm pretty sure we'll probably end up with the tr6 DCOE, and they are going to be either 40s or 45s. Now, are 45s too much power? Absolutely, to treat them for it. It's overkill for it, especially if the engine's going to be standard, which it is. However, if somebody wants to upgrade it down the line, actually put it like a bigger cam in or board out, you already have a head start in it. Plus, the other reason why is that, for me personally, the car driving is all about takeoff speed. Let's face it, like the 32, 36 downdrafts are great, they're smooth. The top end speed is not great, but neither is all of them. But like they're slow to go up, they're just gradual to go up, which is fine. But if you're not going to get a top end speed, you're not going to blow your 70 or tr6 down the road at like 180 kilometers an hour. So like you don't need the overall top speed, but a nice lift off would be nice to have that first bit of power to get you to go. So I think having the 40s, the triple 40s or 45s will give you that bit. And again, if you wanted to upgrade it yourself down the line, then that'd be a choice. Interior lights, we're going to go with LED, simply because I'm going to do a few changes to it. So I'm going to change some of the lights in which they operate, and you'll see as you go along. We've already done it to cars. I'm going to change the position of the lights and how they work. Plus, let's face it, the lights in the dash, like you might as well have a candle in there, you can't see none. So we obviously want to brighten that up to match. The exterior lights, we're actually going to stick with standard. Now, it seems odd, why do we put LED interior lights in and standard exterior lights? We have plans to do something with it regarding the lights, and I think if we went LED, there's nothing wrong with it, don't get me wrong, we could put the LED ones in there. I just don't know if they would suit as good, because once you do one LED, you have to sort of do them all. And the idea what we have with the lights, the LED might not look right. Now again, I'm still open to it, I still may change, so it's not fully. So again, everything's subject to change. But for now, we're going to leave it as standard halogen bulbs, just for now. Dashboard is going to be a dark walnut. It's going to be a nice dark walnut, which we've put on most of the cars. Again, I think it's beautiful. It suits any color, especially now with a silver and a red interior. I think it's going to look absolutely smashing, personally. Transmission is going to be the same. Now, people say, hey, well, if you're going to do all that, why wouldn't you put a 5-speed or an overdrive in it? Yes, we could. However, look at the cost. Do you need the overdrive? It'd be nice to have on the motorway. Some people like it, some people don't. Some people say put the 5th gear in it. Some people will like it, some people don't need it. So we look at it and say, yeah, eventually when we get all done, we go to sell it. If you put the 5-speed in, somebody's paying for that, and maybe they don't want it. It'd actually be cheaper for them to install it afterwards than to actually have it put in there. So like, it's an option. If somebody wants to add that in afterwards, that's their choice. Or you can just leave it as a standard 4-speed, again, depending on what they're doing with. The boot of the trunk, we're going to go with again the red carpet. And then the actual trim, the 5-piece is going to be standard black. So, just to add that, finish off the red. Now, that's basically in a nutshell. Now you think, oh, I haven't touched the engine bay at all. Yes, some stuff is going to remain the same in the way of that. It's going to be the standard engine, so nothing's changing that way or anything. However, the visualize will change it. It's going to be silver in there, metallic silver, so some things I may change to match that will look nice with the silver that wouldn't suit. To give you an example, like for example, if you've done a yellow engine bay, you can put black in there because the black and yellow is a nice color contrast. So we may end up throwing some bits of black stuff in there, maybe change some holes. Again, we'll see what suits in to keep it that doesn't look too out of spec, but it has a nice, sleek, sharp look to it, and that's what we're trying to get, is a nice sharp look to it without overboarding it and then going too far of a conversion or so on. Again, not saying further down the line we're going to do something different altogether. That's the whole idea. It's just a one-off, do something different. Yeah, just do something different. That's something, yeah. Some people like it and some people don't, and we get that. We understand that, and we appreciate everyone's opinion on it. You'll never do something that will please everybody. Well, maybe if you put something back to original that was unique. However, like I said, everyone's entitled to their own. We have to understand as well that we're looking at something that will suit a more younger generation that are coming through and looking at these. Some of them mightn't like a brown. You want something that's a bit more flashier for them, but not losing the whole experience of actually driving a vintage car. That's why, like I said, we're trying to do it and not go too overboard, but just give that nice little freshness to it. Bumpers, most likely, sorry, I didn't add that in actually. We haven't gone down that road yet. But most likely I will be doing, and I'm a big fan of these, is the stainless steel. And again, I'm going to get the early ones, the late 74s with lights underneath. It's not going to be that. This is an early one, so it's going to be like the 73. I don't know if you can see that. The 73 style ones, so I'm going to go with that. I love the stainless steel bumpers. I think they're absolutely amazing. They're really lightweight. They look absolutely beautiful. They're cheap enough. And even if someone says, oh, they're not the greatest stainless steel, because I'm sure there's grades. I don't know enough about them to know it. I'm sure somebody else knows a hell of a lot more to tell me. But again, you look at how long it's going to last. Is it going to last longer than chrome? Yes. Is it a lot cheaper than chrome? Yes. So if you think about it, if you're going to turn around and spend, let's say, I'll give a throw a number, let's say $3,000 to re-chrome your entire bumpers, you'll probably go through 2 sets of these and will last maybe a lot longer. So by the time you go through, let's say 20 years, let's say for argument's sake with one chrome set, then you probably get 40 years through the stainless steel. That's just a way of opinion. But again, don't get me wrong, everyone's for themselves. I love the stainless steel. I'm a big fan of them personally. Yeah, that's just me. So that's what we're looking at so far. I hope you got all that. So that's basically what we're looking at for our project car. As we go along, there will be other stuff that we may add in or take away. Like I said, haven't gone down the line of sound systems. Like it's going to be a standard radio in it. But yeah, little small things. And again, yeah, it's going to be quite the not a challenge, but it's going to be nice doing something different and doing it the way we want it in our way. And that's what's going to make us happy here, is just doing something like that. But again, we're just as happy when somebody comes in and wants their car a certain color, a certain way. Absolutely, I enjoy doing them all. But this is like an open concept to what we want to do and throw our own image on it. It's like, hey, this is something for us. So this is our P6P1 project car. Now, give you an idea where we're at the moment. Let's come back around. So, yes, so 74, we picked it up. This one had pretty much all the bodywork done, the frame done, the engine was done. Great start from us. However, what we done was we had a setup for a while, so some of it started to oxidize at the back. That wasn't like done the great in that way, like, so it was exposed a bit. So instead of trying to grind it, we decided to get a media blast. And the reason why as well is that the original one was done and grinded down. Absolutely nothing wrong with it, but you don't get to see every little thing. We got it media blasted because you can see every nook and cranny. There's bound to be little pinholes that you would miss if you just sanded down, let's face it. And to be honest, the media blasting probably creates more holes than what's in it. But we get to do other things, like we got to get into the seam, put new seam sealer and all on there. We get to see all the pinholes and fix them before you get too out of hand. Because one little pinhole now would turn into a pencil size in 5 years. And you don't want to strip the car down to this, and after 5 years you have a hole in it. That's not what you want. So you want to see it. And what we're looking at is we're looking at a repair work that's been on it for the last 50 years. Yes, it got restored pretty recently, but there's other work that was probably done that got maybe missed or overlooked because, for example, you can't get in here with the grinder or sander. You're not going to get in all the way in here. You're not going to get into the wheel arch. You're not going to get all the way right into the boot. The media blasting is great for that. It's absolutely brilliant, and I highly recommend if you're going to do a restoration, take it off, go get a media blaster before you do anything and see, and you will see all the damage in its reality, what it is before you ever get near it. Because some parts then will tell you where you fix the patch to, do you know what, I guess to the point I'll just replace the panel. Like how many patches do you put on one and say, hey, do you know what, for the time and effort you also doing it, I'll just take it off and just replace it, much easier. Yeah, like I said, it cleans up everything, gets rid of all the crap off it, and you start with a fresh canvas. So because of that, that's what we're doing. Obviously there's a lot of metal work done in it, so metal work is never perfect, and usually you skim over with stuff just to make it smooth. You don't see the welds. So that's where I've been going over the stuff that has been done before. Like for example here we had, it's still tinted down, it's like The way I can describe it is like it was a warm day and something, a basketball or something that bounced on and boom, bounced off and let this indent in it right here. And if you were to sand it, you'd never get that, well, I say you'd never get it out. You wouldn't dig it out only because the original, let's say, the primer and paint, and more paint, and maybe more primer, more paint, for filling the hole. But when you media blast, every little nook, cranny, dint, wave, pitting, all shows up, so then you have to skim back over like here. I mean, metal pits, that's fine. So it's good that I can see that now. I can actually dig in and actually do something about it now. Before maybe progressing a bit more. So that's the advantage and disadvantage to media blasting, is that you see every detail and you have to now do something about it. But it's a lot of time. But yeah, and it always looks worse. You say, hey, look at all the filler everywhere. Remember, most of this is just from a little ripple to a little bit of pitting to just new panels put on where it's a little bit of a weld and it's not exactly perfect, because you can't grind off so much or else it won't be strong enough. So it's pretty common with any repair patch that you put a bit of filler over or something on the line to smoothen it out. Depending on what it is. Some you can get away with, some you can't. So that's it. That's all we're trying to do is fill in all the little bits and all that. So sometimes a tiny bit, you have to put in a big patch to fill in one little pinhole. This is how it is. So yeah, that's it. So now I'm still working away on this one. It's almost ready for priming. The plan is to have this done by the summer 2024. It's now the start of the year. It's actually the 2nd of January. That's where we are today. The plan is to have this done by the summer. Definitely by the British Car Show, but the plan is to have it by the summer. Let's say with Bricks in the Park, Bricks in the Lake, in around there. So July, that's the idea. That's the time we're looking to get it done. It won't be too bad because once we get it all painted, it's a matter of assembly. And we have most of the stuff here, if not all of it. Yeah, like I said, I hope you join us on this journey, but the video blogs of turning this into something a little unique here at P6P Parts. I don't know what else to say really. So, like I said, if you want to, you can follow on the Facebook page. You can follow on the YouTube channel, and yeah, by all means, throw stuff across. Like I said, if you have an opinion, you say, hey, this would look nice. That don't get me wrong. I'm not saying no sways where you make change, but again, it's nice to see opinions. It's nice to see the open mind of how people go, progress, what you would do, what you wouldn't do. Again, it's all about likes and dislikes. Yeah, and like I said, once it gets done and finished, then, like I said, we'll move on to the next P6P Parts project car. Maybe not straight away. Like I said, we still do the restoration, we still restore them back to original, we're still going to keep doing that. But now and again, we'll throw out a car that's unique to us here at P6P Parts that's different. But hopefully not too much. It'll still look and feel like a tr6, as long as it still looks and drives like one. That's the main core part of it. It just visually might be a little different or have some extra stuff on it, which may suit a lot of people. I'll tell you one thing we're going to do to this. The plan is to raise the steering rack to give you that extra clearance, hopefully up to 1.5 and 2 inch clearance of the steering wheel, because we know that's an issue getting in and out, and it's always getting out. This is not even the worst. The tr3, the MGA, don't say the Spitfire. This is too low. Some of them are just terrible. Just you physically, there's no room to get your leg out. I struggle to get out of even. So little things like that we want to correct and try make it that little bit better. So we're going to try raise it and give an extra clearance on the steering wheel, along the line of that. So that's what's going to make it a little unique to us here. So yeah, thanks for watching this video. I hope you follow with us. I hope you follow us as we go along and do this. When it gets done, we'll see it on the road or at a show, and it will go up for auction unless somebody wants to buy it prior. Yeah, that's it. So, what much I have to say? See you in the next video and you follow the videos where we go along and work on it. So, I'm going to add some time lapse. No, I forgot to mention as well. Usually I don't edit videos. I just simply hit press record and that's it. I keep it simple. However, on this one, because it's not to do sort of video, it's a project car. There will be editing, there will be hopefully time lapse in it as I go along, and you'll see the progression as we go along, as we paint it, start to put the stuff in, get it to run, test drive, and that's it. So yeah, thanks for watching, and see you as we progress.